Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and we're going to be talking about another NBA trade idea. As everybody's been, talking about how Luka Doncic needs to get some help in Dallas, and I kind of, was thinking about some trades that Dallas should make, and they definitely need to bring someone in to help Luka. And I think this trade that we're going to talk about here would be a great trade to help Luka Doncic and the Mavs try to go as far as they can in the West. So, Charlotte is a team this season. The Hornets, they are a team who have just gone sideways. They're trying to rebuild. And the thing is it's not like they never were rebuilding. They were going in the right direction with, the players they had. With LaMelo Ball, that was doing good. They have other players like P.J. Washington. He's had a good season. Terry Rozier's been great, who's in this trade idea. Kelly Oubre's been great as well. He's in this trade idea as well. But they've just been horrible this year, and I think that they're going to try to land this number one overall pick, pair Victor Wembanyama with LaMelo Ball, which hopefully they don't get him because I want the Rockets to get him, but in that case, I think they're, trying to do, I wouldn't say rebuild because the Hornets have been in a rebuild for a while now, but I would say this is kind of like a reload for the Hornets. I mean, like, for instance, with the Raptors, I think the Raptors are sort of going into a rebuild, I think they're about to blow it up. But for instance, with the Hornets, they've already, been bad for years. I think this is, just kind of a reload. Get some guys out, get some guys in, and then how the Warriors were awful for that year, or that 1 year when Clay and Curry were hurt and they were the worst team in basketball, and then next year they got better. So it's kind of like a reload, I think. Once the Warriors turned into one of the worst teams in basketball after losing KD and Curry and Clay getting hurt, everybody thought they weren't going to come back. But then the Warriors ended up winning a championship. Not saying the Hornets are going to do that, but that was the Warriors. People thought the Warriors were going to rebuild, but it was just a reload. They got some players in, got some players out, and it was actually really good for the Warriors. So maybe that's the best thing for Charlotte to do. But for Dallas, they need to get Luka some help. And, I hear a lot of people say that, if Luka was not on the Mavs, the team that they have with him right now would get like 10, 15 wins. And I will admit that the team, if you take Luka off the team they have now, they would be pretty bad. But I don't think they'd be that bad. 10, 15 wins, you have to be horrible to get 10, 15 wins. Personally, I think, with how good Dinwiddie's been when Luka has been, not available, and how good Christian Wood has shown some spurts this season, I think that Dallas team would get at least 20, 25, maybe even 30 wins without Luka. But they would not be in the position that they are now without Luka. But I do think that Luka Doncic needs some help in Dallas, and it starts with Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre. So here is the potential trade. So Dallas is receiving two amazing players from this season that have been playing great basketball this season. Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre, two players who are both averaging over 20 points per game this season. Oubre is averaging 20, and Rozier is averaging 21. So love the additions of those guys. So you have to give up 3 players and 3 picks. Nothing too much. You have to give up someone who I think has been great for your team in the last couple years, but I think in order to make this trade, you got to give him up. Tim Hardaway Jr. He's been great this season, 14 points. He's averaging 14 points per game, shooting 35% from 3, playing great basketball. But in order, you're going to have to give up one of your mediocre players to get Luka some good help with Rozier and Oubre Jr. So in that case, you have to give up Hardaway Jr. alongside with 2 one's a young player, and the other is just a good shooter. But you add in Josh Green. I like Josh Green. He's a good player. I mean, he's averaging 7 points per game. He's a good defensive player. He's shooting 44% from 3 this season, but that's only out of 54 shots. So it's 24 for 54. I mean, like, Hardaway's 3-pointers this season, like I said, he's shooting 35%. That's out of like 250 shots. So like that's like 35% on, a lot of shooting. And Green is just 54 threes. So A decent. He's been a decent 3-point shooter. Has a good percentage, but not enough 3-pointers to say that's a really good 3-point percentage. And it's just been a good scorer for the Mavs this season, averaging 7 points per game. And then you got Davis Bertans, who I love. I love Davis Bertans. He's been a good player in this league for a while now, but he's just struggled this year with the Mavs. He's averaging about 4.5 points per game, but I think you need to get him in a different place. I think he could be playing better, and I would like to add him into that Charlotte team. I don't know if he stays there for long, but I do know, he provides some good shooting off the bench for Charlotte, and definitely if he's playing more minutes and getting more shots up, the Bertans is definitely going to be playing better. So yeah, Bertans is great as well. So then also with picks. So you're receiving 1 first-round pick and 2 seconds. So the first-round pick you're receiving is a 2024 first-round pick. I like that. Obviously, Dallas isn't gonna be bad. So that's gonna be you're not gonna get a great pick, but it's a first-round pick is a first-round pick, right? And then you're gonna get 2 second-round picks, 2027 and 2024. So. Yeah, I like this for the Hornets. Like I said, you're getting rid of 2 guys who have been great this season, but like I said, it's like a reload. And I don't think it's bad for Charlotte because I think eventually they'll get back on top. But it's going to suck to lose Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre, but I think Dallas, this will benefit them very well. I like this trade for Dallas. I mean, look at their lineup after this. You got Rozier at the 1, and then at the 2, you have Dinwiddie. At the 3, you have Luka. It would be weird seeing Luka at the 3, but I think that's what would be happening. And then at the 4, you have Dorian Finney-Smith. At the 5, you have Dwight Powell. And then off the bench, you have a stacked bench. You have Christian Wood off the bench with Kelly Oubre Jr. Those are 2 players. I don't think Wood's averaging 20 points. He's averaging at least like 18, 19 or something like that. So Wood is close to 20. So you pair Wood with Oubre Jr. Your bench is even more stacked. Then you have Maxi Kleber with them, and then that's really it. Besides those 3 guys, you don't really have anybody else. I think probably the 9th man in the rotation would probably be Jaden Hardy, who's a point guard. So in that case, I mean, I like it for the Mavs. I think from that stand view, from that point of view, I think that the Mavericks definitely become one of the favorites to come out of the West. I think they'd have to fight hard between, I think, the Clippers. And it comes, if the Mavs make this trade, I think, at the end of the day, at the end of the playoffs, I think, the Final 4 in the Western Conference would be the Mavs, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, and the Nuggets. But, I mean, yeah, I think that trade would be great for the Mavs and just makes their team even more stacked. But, I mean, like I said, it sucks to get rid of Hardaway Jr., a guy who's done great this season, averaging 14 points per game, but you're going to have to, if you want to get something back in return, get something good like Rozier or Oubre Jr., and in this case, both of them. So I would say I like this trade for the Mavs. You guys let me know your thoughts on the trade idea, as in this potential NBA trade, the Dallas Mavericks would be getting Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre Jr. for Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, and Davis Bertans, and 3 picks, 1 first, 2 seconds. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know on your thoughts, and peace out.